Does early diagnosis help, or is it important? And how did you first get the signs?
Early diagnosis is huge for one reason, so that families can talk and they can discuss what is important for the future. You can't do anything to prevent the disease or slow it, but my mom and I, by the time we found out that she actually did have Alzheimer's, it was too late. We couldn't have that discussion about end-of-life wishes, whether she had a will or a trust. I would ask her those questions and she would say, I don't know. And I always got vague answers. She was already beyond the point of making decisions and knowing where things were at. So for families out there, if they're concerned about memory issues, they really need to start talking about what's going on, seeing a doctor, getting early diagnosis so that they can get a will in place, get a trust in place, and have those end-of-life decisions made so it's not on somebody else that doesn't really know. So,
What were some of the first signs?
My mom just was not herself. She was having trouble with things like banking, and she was a banker, so she was a teller and all the way into management all her life, and that was probably the biggest red flag is when I noticed she was making banking errors, and she had been a banker all her life. That's not normal. Mm-hmm. And then little things earlier on were like she would wear 6 necklaces and just dress odd and do things that she had never done all her life. And so when little things started happening, they were really, really easy to make excuses for or just brush off and say, oh, she's having an off day. But when little things like that are happening and you've known the person all your life, you need to really pay attention and not let yourself deny it and go into denial.
Do you think that there was a comfort in denying that there was issues going on?
Oh yeah, very much so. And she was only 63 too. So I think a lot of people think Alzheimer's is for old people, or it's, or it's something that every old person experiences. Every old person experiences memory loss. That's not true. That's a complete myth. Both of my grandmothers are 91 and 92, and they're both, they call me, my grandma that's 92 just used the phone and called me the other day. My mom hasn't been able to dial a phone for 4 years. So simple things that you've known all your life, tying your shoes, dialing the phone, driving a car, cooking, all those little things, you start making errors. Mom would make soup about 4 or 5 years ago and leave like a key ingredient out, the chicken for chicken noodle soup or something, and those things that's not normal, and it's not a normal part of aging. But when we were first concerned about her, she was only 63, and so the first doctor we took her to diagnosed her with depression. And I should have, now looking back, I should have spoke up and said, no, this isn't depression, it's not my mom. And
yeah.